Hey guys, welcome to our review for Sony's Morbius, starring Jared Leto, and sort of a new entry into the Sony-verse of Spider-Man side characters. Yeah, so this movie was originally intended to come out in January.
I can see why.
Got pushed all the way to April.
Don't know why.
Should have been pushed one more day to April 1st.
This is a good movie. Sake.
Sake, so that I could put up this. It was a great. Joe, you ruined. You got the setup. I was gonna say this was an amazing movie. It was better than Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It was better than Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. It was just fucking amazing. I sound weird on this. Hopefully this is doing fine. It was really one of the best films I've seen in a really long time. April Fools. This movie was pathetic. It was boring. It was uncompelling. A lot of the side characters awful. Even the main characters not that great. It's very blue. I will say that. They definitely like the blue hue to everything. The blue filter.
Like
everything day for night
movies,
shot. Yeah, just really crappy, really generic. And so let's see how it's doing here. I'm pulled up Rotten Tomatoes to see if anybody agrees with this. The critics, wow, 17%. Don't normally see ones that low. Audience, 64, of course. Yeah, because it's not that bad mentality. People go to the movies because they want to be entertained.
Is this shit movie on a piston? Well, it's not that bad.
Well, that's what they said about Halo. That's what they said about a number of things. Every bad thing is there's somebody's like, well, it's not that bad. You're right. It's not that bad. It's not a 10%. It's not a 1 out of 10 film, at least not in my opinion. Jared Leto tries. Unfortunately, did he though? Yeah, you're right. I mean, he produced it. He put money into it. He wants it to succeed.
I think he's not a bad actor. Like I've seen him do other stuff.
What the fuck is he doing? Is a guy hard up for money? Because this project, you read that script and you're like, what? No,
like who wrote
no
this?
Thanks.
First timer?
Well, we know who wrote it. No, they're not a first timer.
Oh, that's right.
The writers from.
Let us know who the writers were.
Oh yeah.
That was Burke Sharpless, just excellent last name, and Matt Sazama. Sazama, actually, and they
what
wrote
did he do?
Gods of Egypt.
That's the one where we played the game.
We played the worst game ever.
And they got mad at us.
Hey, they got mad at us, and no, they were like, they were going to pay us money,
yes.
and we were like, no, we cannot take money for this. It's terrible. So it cost us money. Our integrity cost us money to not do the mobile game for that.
Yeah.
And the film itself was better than the game, but it was not very good. They also did Dracula Untold in 2014, which was also a massive stinker. They also did The Last Witch Hunter, which was probably the best of the lot, but not very
Vin
good.
Diesel?
Vin Diesel, man.
Shit.
Family, Joe. They're
like,
family.
That was an obscure one.
So why doesn't Morbius? I'm assuming you guys didn't like it either.
No, I did not like it at all.
Yeah.
No.
Have we changed any settings over here?
I haven't touched anything.
Why didn't it work for you guys?
For me, it was like the pacing is super fast, but not in a good way. Like sometimes I don't mind if the pacing is pretty fast, shit's going on.
A lot
but
of
this
shit not
is like,
explained.
This is your friend. Oh, your friend's dead. Oh wait, you fixed his heart and you did everything with a ballpoint pen. You're amazing. And skip to 25 years later, you're successful doing bullshit. I don't care about these characters. Like
I don't care about the characters.
Yeah, you don't really let any of these scenes like simmer. Even after watching all the movie and everything, like no scene stands out. Nothing stands out.
You didn't like the CGI.
There's not one that I liked.
Not a
Everything
single
was
CGI
shitty. Everything was shitty.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Very
I don't know
shitty.
why Morbius has this effect on him that looks like, I don't know, glitter or not glitter, but
The
you
purple
know,
trail?
smoke. It's
That's
and he's got a
Nightcrawler's thing.
purple
I don't
trail.
know
He's got orange when he's wearing a prison jumpsuit. I guess it's supposed to be like the fucking sonar, maybe some kind of visualization. It looks stupid.
I mean,
It looks cheap. It looks stupid. Every time they go into slow-mo, they have to do. Every time they do a CGI action between two CGI characters, they slow it down, and it just looks bad. Unfortunately, bad CGI, bad side characters. Why would you choose two comedians for the serious cops that are investigating Jared Leto?
Tyrese is not a comedian.
Tyrese Gibson. And
He is not a comedian.
Al
He's
Madrigal.
hilarious, but not for
Yeah,
not on
not for those
purpose.
reasons.
Yeah, actually.
I'm broke.
Yeah. He
It's like,
needed
well.
money. Tyrese needed money. They gave me $1 million.
It's like, why would you say that? They told you.
I wonder what Tyrese. Everybody asked Tyrese about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock because he gave him money. Hey man, I'll die for Will Smith. He said.
No,
All right.
there's nothing really good about this movie. Like, I'm trying to find one good aspect.
Don't spend money on this.
No.
No, it's not. It's not written competently. It's
No,
definitely
it's
not
not.
shot competently. The
I had
fight
3
choreography.
drinks. Did you drink any?
I had 1 beer.
And it still didn't make it great. And I was like, I did like the dance sequences.
Because they're so
From Matt
stupid.
Smith.
They're so
Matt Smith
stupid.
dancing. He's like, all right, now I'm doing, because he's feeling good about himself.
Yeah.
That made me laugh. And that's the best part
No,
of the film.
for
Yeah,
me,
and even
nothing.
then, that's
That's
that's a bad scene in other films. It's like it is a feel good thing, but if you're expecting a 3D rendered spectacle that you would get from a Marvel thing, it's there. It's just not done in. You could tell. He's swiping at people from like this far away, and then they die. It's like, but they didn't connect. They forgot to do the thing.
PG-13.
They forgot to do the thing. Yeah, there's also
There's no contact.
There's no contact. There's very little blood in the vampire movie. Most of the things that he drink is the titty milk from last
Star Wars.
Yeah, from Star Wars. So he's drinking blue titty milk, and they're calling it fake blood.
Yes.
Yeah, blue blood.
And
Blue blood.
it's-
I mean, it's artificial. That's from the comic. Morbius is an anti-hero, though here he's 100% hero. He's trying to cure the world and stuff and try to help little kids out. And he wants to drink the blue blood because it's artificial, something he made himself. And if he drink, and he's really powerful with the blue blood, but he's even more powerful with the red blood. And the blue blood is running out, and he needs to figure out how to do that. But that side plot is forgotten about because we have a bigger thing to worry about. We've got Matt Smith, who is his childhood friend, who obviously they both
There
have the
wasn't
same
chemistry
condition.
there.
and they're
Everything was
going
like
to eventually
too
have-
fast
That's
paced
who
for
your
that.
villain
Like,
is.
I didn't really give a shit about that.
You didn't give a shit about Matt Smith?
No, you went from
of course not.
like normal
awful.
kind of guy into like super villain immediately. It's like, oh, come on.
The worst
And there's
kind
just one
of
part-
Marvel / Sony villain.
Sony.
It's Sony villains are. You think Marvel villains are bad? Sony villains are even further down on the.
Yeah,
totem.
because like Jared Harris, Morbius's mentor, that's what they have him as.
Yeah.
Because I don't know his name. They
Yeah.
have him as Morbius' mentor.
Yeah.
Like the one scene, Matt Smith is like, "Hey, you've always treated him better than me." I was like, "When did this happen?"
Jared Harris, Emil Nicholas.
Yeah, I was like, "When did this happen?" Like,
Yeah.
you've always treated him better. You always
We don't see any
was
of that.
there a scene?
was there?
I mean,
Did I miss
What do you
something?
mean
Did I
treat him
look
better?
away? When?
You got him a scholarship?
So you always loved
Oh,
him
fuck you.
more. I was like,
I mean,
when did this happen?
I don't know. But you know what I did appreciate, and I wish it would have done more? I mean, Jared Leto is kind of quiet, and he's so one note. He's so kind of like restrained. He's trying to play it serious. And Matt Smith is over here fucking going crazy.
Yeah, he's like,
I
got my paycheck. I don't give a shit.
Doing one. And honestly, I wish it was more of that kind of shit. If you're gonna fucking be a crappy, popcorn flick that isn't a good vampire movie and isn't a good superhero movie or anti-hero movie, it's none of those things. The least you can do is try to entertain me with some of the fucking bombastic Matt Smith dancing.
Even that
and
one
stuff. But
joke was taken
Right.
out. It's like, I'm Venom. No, just kidding. That
I
was
know.
taken out.
It was awful.
Yeah,
And
he's like,
they
"I'm
already
Venom."
spoiled that joke, but yet at the theater burst out laughing. And I'm like, are you okay? Well, belly laughs from I'm Venom. Okay. I guess so.
Those are the people.
Maybe that. Those are the people that are like, Joe, you are so fucking hard on things, and you're a critic, and I don't really know why you're a critic. I just want you to like everything that you watch and only focus on what was good about things.
You a lot of beef jerky, right? You know the silica packets in there that says "Do not eat."
jerky.
The people who are belly laughing to that shit, those are the people that those warnings are for.
Right.
That if you're the kind of person that walks through a drugstore and you start belly laughing to Hallmark birthday cards, you're like, "This is a funny." This movie is made for you. This movie was written by dumb people for dumb people. If you're part of the people going like, "I like this," great. Go off and whatever the fuck you do on a daily basis.
Understand why we are here as critics. Understand that we've seen this story a few times, done better in other films.
All of them.
And the reason why, exactly. And the reason why we're not focusing on positive aspects of it, and Joe, you should give it a 6 out of 10. I didn't think it was that bad. This was actually an all right movie. What were the great parts of the film?
I told you I
When
could
it
not
ended?
pick one.
No, I'm asking you to pick one.
Go to him first. I'll think.
I'm trying to help him.
There was a bat Hadouken.
Things get shot
Yeah,
around.
that was random.
Oh yeah.
I was like, wait a minute.
He's like,
Aw.
and it's like, I didn't know you could do a bat Hadouken.
Yeah, so there's
I
several
guess that-
powers that are unexplained. My girlfriend asked me, so he could control bats? Why? And I was like, well, it's from the comics, but they didn't really explain it here. They never explain his how
They
he
don't
becomes
explain everything.
the
Everything's too
relationship with the
fast.
bats.
Too
He's
fast.
got a harp, a harp machine that he cuts himself. He puts his hand through 2 strings of the harp, and the bats fly at him. And then we fade to black. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Then we go
You've seen it in the
25
trailer,
years
and all of
earlier.
a sudden he has a relationship with those bats.
Yes.
It's the bats themselves that they explain that their blood and he's splicing DNA with bats and humans. Let's not do that. We just went through something pretty bad when you mix some DNA from when you mix viruses from
Then how
bats
come
and shit.
Matt Smith and be like, nah, I'm gonna control bats too.
Right.
Explain
well,
that.
because he didn't have the relationship from the bats from Costa Rica,
But
Joe.
those weren't the
Those
ones
were
from
his
the-
friends.
those weren't the
He
ones
said
from
those
Costa
were my
Rica.
brothers.
Those
were
weren't
my
the
brothers.
ones from Costa Rica.
What?
Those are the ones from underground.
Oh shit, that's right.
Yeah, those are ones.
all right,
Those
all
are like
bats
all
like 'em.
brand new bats.
No, man, the Costa Rica bats talk with the American bats, then the
Because
American
they have the
bats.
same language, they have accents.
Yeah.
The bad accents.
But that
It's
shit
in
is more
Spanish.
fascinating than this film because if you know every trope in the book, this film does every trope in the book. You see everything coming from
Yes.
a mile away. You don't buy. They have a romantic interest. You don't buy their romantic interest. You don't feel like these fight scenes are badass because they're ruined by smoky colored CGI and everything is washed in an ugly blue. It's unfortunately a pathetic attempt for Sony, and you can tell Sony desperately wants their own Marvel universe with their characters that they bought, and they need money, and they want it, and they're
If they
trying
want
to
to get
put
better
together
writers.
a team of
Get
their
better
own,
writers.
a universe of their own. Venom, Morbius, now
Kraven's coming.
We'll talk about more of it, and honestly, Sony just does not have the creative firepower and the good writers. Why the fuck are you using the writers from Gods of Egypt? Like, you look at their resume and you're like, yes, this is who I want in control. And Jared's like, yep,
They're
I
probably those
love
people
this
that went in.
project.
It's like, this is a good movie. It wasn't that bad. Let's make a movie. That's not that bad. That's what happened.
We made a movie that's not that bad. Only because
I do think it's that bad.
Only because we've seen
It
it
is.
so many times, and there's so much better content out of there. It's like there's no point in this movie. There's literally no point in this movie. There will not be a Morbius 2. I guarantee it. And what Sony is teasing there's 2 stingers, and the first stinger is absolutely pathetic. The second stinger is even more interesting, but even more pathetic when you think about it. It doesn't make sense, number one, with what we've seen in the Marvel Universe. And then number 2, it reeks of desperation. How many times have they tried? I'm not going to spoil it. I'll talk about that in the spoilers. But how many times has Sony tried to do what they're trying to do at the end of this film and at the end of their other fucking films, and they're not paying it off? Is this the one that's finally going to pay it off? No, because we don't want to see. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
They spoiled it in the commercials.
No,
The scene-
let's not. Oh, you're right. You're right.
They literally spoiled it in the commercials, like on national
so the
television.
fucking vulture guy is in there, and they're trying to do their own fucking Sinister Six. They're again trying to tease the Sinister
I was hoping
Six,
whenever
trying to team up of bad
Well, I was
guys
hoping
with Morbius
whenever they
this
had
time.
a vulture
Morbius.
come in, they would have an alternate universe one, and they have the one that I want.
Oh my God! Yes. Oh God, Joe.
Yes.
I'm gonna put up this picture up here.
That's the
because
one I want.
That would
The
have saved the
ultimate-
film.
10 out of 10.
Michael Keaton walks in as the old man vulture with.
He's like, wait, this
ridiculous
is a different universe.
feathers.
I need a different costume.
I look weird.
That would have been amazing.
He's got that boa. Come on.
Yeah, I would have liked it. I'd have given it an extra point.
I would.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and give this film. Have we talked about it sufficiently?
Oh, yeah, we.
I'm done.
Plenty,
to make
plenty.
it clear to you guys
It's-
that unfortunately,
yeah, don't watch
this
it.
is a
It
dime a
is-
dozen, and you can skip this one. Don't really spend money on it.
No,
Wait till
watch
it comes
something
out
else.
on VOD or something. So,
Final verdicts. I'm gonna give this a 3. This is very generic ass shit. Fast pace. You don't care about any of the characters. None.
None.
Not even the main character you don't care about. Michael Morbius. There's it was cringeworthy. These love scenes they were trying to have, and it's like these brotherly moments. It's like, oh well, you know me from way back. It's like, no, we had a scene like 3 minutes.
Yeah, you get the
That's it.
ridiculous bullies bullying the little kid. It's just so over the
everything
top,
over the
so
top.
overdone.
It's so
You
stupid.
don't buy any of it.
Writing was
Unless you're
told,
dumb and you eat the fucking packets from the beef jerky.
the
This
writing
beef
was
jerky tastes
poor.
bad.
The filming was poor. Music, I don't even know if there was any music.
You're right. This film has no style other than
It
blue.
doesn't. There's nothing
And
really.
they try to do this 80s look, and it actually kind of got me encouraged. You know, the title sequence and the end credit sequence where it's doing this V and it's doing pink and light blue and purple. I'm like,
neons,
oh,
it's
this
in the
is
80s.
this guy's gonna have some style to it. Then you watch the actual film. There is zero style. This is like
Yeah.
film student. You know, this is like vanilla, boring.
Yeah, there's
the only
nothing-
creativity is plenty of helicopter pan shots when they're doing, you know, CGI and then slowing it down. But when it all looks like shit,
it does.
It doesn't. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's this movie is not memorable, so it's not worth your time. Not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what's your rating though out of 10?
I did 3.
3?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, this movie isn't written well. I don't think it's acted particularly well. It's not shot well. The fight choreography is bad. The CGI is muddied and all kind of blends together. The comedy, look, even the worst parts of Venom and Venom 2 are better than this, and
Yes.
like those movies are not very good. This kind of thing
yeah.
would have been maybe acceptable to dumb people in the 90s when comic book movies were bad. Remember how when they used to be kind of bad, like video game movies and comic movies?
Talk about Howard the Duck.
So it's like the thing is we've seen people take comics and
Fantastic
elevate them.
Four, Joe.
Oh yeah. So I would actually probably rather watch Fantastic Four than this movie.
She's got a heavy.
Depending on which Fantastic
Well,
Four.
like this one is trying to set up a universe that doesn't have a right to exist. It should not
Exactly, yeah,
exist. They're trying to
no.
do their own thing, but this universe is sadder than DC's universe, and there's some bad movies in the DC universe.
Man, when I walked out of this film, I saw the Batman poster, and I was like, God, why didn't I just go see Batman again?
Again.
That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking.
You thought the same
yeah,
thing?
I look over.
I
I
was
was like, I
God
would rather
damn,
go
man,
see
yeah.
Batman again.
And I saw, but you know, we're reviewers, and we gotta fucking
Yeah.
So it's
So,
like,
honestly, I'd rather go see that.
and so this is why we're telling you, like, there's this out there, and then there's Batman, and it's the same fucking price to see both. So this is, unless your ticket's free, and even if my ticket was free, I kind of have better use of my time, you know. So unfortunately, it didn't work out. What was your rating?
3.
3 out of 10. Yes, that sounds about right to me. 3 out of 10. I liked the Venom. Tom Hardy is more interesting. The Venom character is more interesting than Morbius. Morbius is like B team, C team, D team at this point.
I'd say
And I'm just
Z.
not interesting. Yeah. You don't need to make every goddamn fucking Marvel Spider-Man side character his own fucking movie or film. Maybe it could have worked in a TV series where you get multiple episodes to really flesh the characters out. The
Probably.
pacing is it's disjointed. The pacing's all over the place. The editing sucks.
Yep.
I just hate it. So it's a 3 out of 10. People are like, Joe, I can't believe you like Suicide Squad, the original Suicide Squad. And it's like, that film sucks. It's a 3. It's like, nah, man, this is a fucking 3. I'd rather watch Suicide Squad because you can have more fun and brainless entertainment than here because that has brainless entertainment. This has brainless. That's it. I mean, the CGI sucks. If you're like, these battles are fucking great, I'm like, oh man, just leave.
Is this the only
Please
battle
leave.
you've seen?
Just leave.
This,
I can't wait for the comments that are like, this wasn't that bad, and this is great. And you guys, why do you hate everything?
I don't.
Sorry, I'm real salty.
I like so much stuff.
Anyways,
it's
me
not
too.
one of
Me
them.
too. But I'm letting those people get to us. Our job I need to reiterate our job. Our job are critics, and not simply to go to the movies to be entertained. And many people who comment on the videos, guys, why are you being so hard? It's because we're there as critics and not there to be entertained. If I turned off my brain, I can be entertained by this film. But not even really. Not this one. Anyways, that's going to be it for us. I'm going to go into a spoiler section for you guys.
extra spoiler.
Doesn't even really work. Yeah, because when a film's this bad, we start spoiling it in the main one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the spoiler section. Hey guys, welcome to the spoiler section. So, please explain, the beginning of the film, Joe.
The beginning of the film, you see him getting out of the helicopter, goes to the Batcave, and say, "Hey, I'm gonna open up my harp here and put my blood."
Yeah, what is that machine?
It's a bat trap.
Tell me what the bat.
That machine that's
Okay,
this
thank
big
you.
caught 500 bats.
Yeah, all those in the little.
That was the bat trap?
That's
Yeah.
the bat trap.
What? How does it work?
It doesn't.
Okay, I don't
It
know.
doesn't,
The movie
that's why
also
they, that's
doesn't
why
work.
they panned out.
Yeah.
They're like,
He was like, suck my blood.
Well, he also
and
has zero. He's a love for like the people who flew him out there. He's like trying to get them killed.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
whatever reason, they're going to abandon him
Yeah,
on
he
this
doesn't
mountain.
give a shit. So he's like this,
He's a piece of shit.
philanthropist, and he's a great guy, and he's helping kids, but he was just killing the people that actually would do the hard work to get him to this secluded area.
But then he can't get off the mountain with his 500 bats because they left him there. It's like nothing about the beginning of this movie makes any sense.
Yeah. So I had to point that out, and I guess he was not gonna. I mean, Batman just said, "Just go away." He was not gonna. That was the doorbell at Batman's house, and he said,
Yeah,
"Please
and then after that, we cut back to 25 years earlier when he is in this hospital
Yeah.
because he's got his sickness. He meets his best friend. He's like, "Hey, how
This
long you been
is
here?"
so
"Oh, I've been here for blah, blah, blah." It's
tropey.
like, all right. This
So
is-
dated.
It is.
It's like you've seen this all the time. Like, oh, and then we're friends, and oh, we both have the same condition. One day, I'm gonna change things.
We're
and
going to be friends forever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
I'm
you know
dying.
that's going to be the villain because he's going to be like, well, what? You get cured and I don't get cured. And that's basically what happens. He figures out a cure for
But
it.
it's just so stupid the
by
way they
experimenting on rats.
the way they set him up is like, oh, he's a genius because his friend's dying, so
Right.
he fixes the machine with the pen. He uses a little spring for the fuse. He's like, oh, you're a genius. I'm gonna take
Go
you
to the
You
school."
need to go to this school.
Yeah.
And then next scene, he's already done so much shit.
Sure.
I'm like, oh,
I don't want to watch it.
this is like
3
breakneck speed.
I don't
was
give
like,
a
okay,
fuck, Joe.
cool,
I'm glad
whatever.
It was. I'm
Yeah,
glad it
like,
was. I don't want to see that. So then he goes into international waters after the fucking rat pops back up. He's like, okay,
Yeah,
we can
because
do
he's
this.
testing.
But I guess they did say human trials for number 41. I was like, was he experimenting on other humans that we didn't see? Wouldn't
They
it
never
be
had stable cells
Human
before.
Trials 1. And then he uses it, and he immediately turns into Morbius. And the guy, of course, the burly guy comes downstairs. I got to go check up on the doctor.
You're a
Let me
nurse.
be a fucking asshole to the
I'm a doctor.
Guy
You're a
paying for everything.
nurse.
the people paying for everything. He doesn't know. He's like, your help. It's like, shut up.
hired
This is
gun.
poor writing because it's like we have to hate this guy so that Morbius can come and fucking kill him, like a horror movie or something. And all the horror aspects in this film were awful. Every time it tried to switch gears from an action to, oh, there's spooky dark corridors, you're like, get to the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then he
International waters.
sucks a whole bunch of guys off. Then
sucked a whole bunch of guys off.
Jump ship.
Yeah, it was all on camera. He watches the footage himself, and he goes, "My God, I killed those people," and he felt bad about it. I think he throws up, and then deletes all the footage, jumps off the ship, but leaves her on there. And she's picked up by the police, obviously. They're all going to pin it on here. He's kind of an asshole. And they're like, what did you do? What happened here? And
But he left the most important clue. He does origami that Tyrese knew. He's like, oh, this is a hobby of yours. I was like, how do you know?
Because
these two cops
They never
are the
fucking
worst.
met.
This
He's
is
like,
so
oh, I know you like doing origami. I found this
You
bat.
look like a bat. I looked at that thing. I said, that don't look like a bat. I don't know what the hell that is.
This is you.
Shitty origami.
Well, you're pretty good, Tyrese.
So then you got the difference between the blue blood and the red blood. He tries to do blue blood. He's experimenting on himself. He's like, how long can I go without blood? This is when Matt Smith shows up. His character shows up, who is Milo?
Crown.
Yeah,
something
Milo.
Crown. Milo Crown.
And we see the camera pan specifically to 2 vials left. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So there's Matt Smith obviously going to get one. And, you know, he has a scene. He's like, give me it. He's like, no. He's like, well, you're being selfish. This is bullshit. He's like, get the fuck out of here. And they do this thing. The problem is vampires can look good on screen. They don't need to be the hot boy glitter vampires, right?
Prime
But-
example, Dracula, Dead and Loving It.
Exactly, Joe. Exactly. And that you
Best
fucking nailed it.
vampire
But the problem,
ever.
I like practical effects, and the problem is when you're adding a layer of CGI over people's faces up close like that, it's uncanny valley. It's not scary. It's goofy, and it looks like bad CGI. Now there are times where they do prosthetic effects, and that's when they look good. But that's rare and few and far between. Maybe it was all fucking CGI. I don't know.
I don't know. I honestly thought it was all
but
bad.
it almost always looked bad. And so then he's eventually in one of the stupidest scenes ever. The cops are onto him. Go to the fucking office, and the cops stop him before he's able to get out. And they're questioning him, and then he has, you look pretty good. He's like, yeah, Pilates, and it's like, okay. And then they fight. He does his fucking kung fu, vampire kung fu, and he runs, and they're like, stop, freeze, and he starts running, and the cops just start shooting for no fucking reason. It's like, number one, when somebody's running away, cops don't immediately start gunning them down in cold blood, but okay, I guess because he saw him jumping up the ramparts and he got scared. He's like, it's a monster, or whatever. But he doesn't ever say that. He's just like, this is standard procedure. And maybe in America it is becoming standard procedure, but whatever, that's something different. He gets to the roof, and the cop. This is one of the stupidest parts of the film. He gets to the roof, and for no apparent reason, he's like thrown around. It's the wind. This is the first time he is experiencing the wind.
How much does he weigh?
Yeah,
Like
I don't know.
1 ounce? Getting blown away. Yeah.
It was so
Like, you're a
weird.
fucking
I
idiot.
thought it was a sonic weapon, and we're gonna get a cameo from some agency or force or something, right?
literally getting blown away.
It was like a gust of wind, and then he almost falls, but then he's like ready to fight, and then Tyrese comes up and he goes, "Enough!"
How?
And that's it.
He's so fast.
it's like
though.
30 flights of stairs.
Yeah. He took the elevator, Alex.
And that's it. He's arrested.
And I was you could say.
It was scared.
He's
He
a
was
bat.
so scared because the
He's a
bullet is
bat.
going to kill him if he shoots from his pistol. Meanwhile, he's fucking dodging automatic gunfire from 8 fucking people on the boat, and yet he lets time. Maybe he wanted to be arrested, right? Because he doesn't want to.
I guess he wants to be
I guess he
safe.
wants to be, right? Yeah, exactly. And but by doing that, he's a fucking dumbass because he leaves all of the shit in his lab. But we don't see any of this.
A lot of stuff
Later
happens
on in the
off
film.
screen.
Exactly, all the good stuff.
Yeah, I was like,
Because Matt Smith shows up and he's already a vampire, so you have to assume that he grabbed one of the vials or both of the vials. We have no idea what happened to the third vial. Did Matt Smith inject himself twice? Did the vial show up at the third vial and he used it as the antidote in order to
did he
use
inject himself in the back?
Yeah, he's not giving himself
How
a
did he
spinal
do
tap.
it?
Like someone else has to give him a spinal tap.
I have no.
what happened?
Like, he did have somebody else give him a spinal tap. He paid a fucking homeless guy, I guess. I don't fucking know. I wouldn't trust him to pass a spinal tap. Anyways, so yeah, the film. Ugh,
A lot of stuff just happens off screen, and this doesn't make any sense. It's like, all right, We don't know what the fuck to do. You fill in the blanks. That's basically what this movie's telling you to do.
Now, the parts that I did like is, look, we're vampires. Let's fucking do whatever the fuck we want. And they do it out in the open, right? And then so you got that feeling of the villain is all like kills a bunch of cops and starts dancing. And it's like, okay, that's the fun, ridiculous stuff. There's only 2 moments like that when he's all muscles, you know, Matt Smith, and he's like dancing and listening to music. And I'm like, this is where you're getting into some of the glorification of the power and the getting drunk on the vampire stuff. That's great.
There's
but
no seduction.
None of that.
No seduce.
No
If you're a
seduce,
vampire,
no
you should've
seduction
been
powers. Yeah. Actually, kind of, because the doctor don't really have all that much interest in him. I guess because he's Jared Leto and he puts on a lot of this whole film, his lips are like so fucking bright. He was wearing a bunch of purple lipstick and shit, lip balm. Anyways, so the doctor that raised the 2 kids eventually is appalled by Matt Smith, who is killing people, and he tries to get him to stop. And he just lashes out at his fucking father figure and kills him and tells, hey, tell Morbius that I'm going to kill whoever I want. I'm going to kill a bunch more people. And so Morbius
why?
gets pissed off. I know, right?
Like, why are you doing this?
It's so reckless. It's just pointless,
It
Joe.
is.
There's no stakes. There's no tension when they fight. Nobody gives a shit. And then finally, as he's listening to Morbius shows up to the dying doctor, and he hears more bullshit going on. He's got his girlfriend captured. So now we have one scene where a close person of his dies, and he warns. And another close person of his is captured. And he goes to the next person, and she is killed. He actually hears the motherfucking guy taunting her, asking her to call out Morbius's name. Go! Make it there. He's just listening to the whole thing, and then he listens to her neck be
that we don't
fucking
give a shit about.
punctured and killed. Like, he could have got there a little quicker. But whatever. He gets there as her heart is giving out. He's listening to the beats of her heart. Boom, boom. I kind of like that vision. It's like, oh, this is a video game. If I was playing a shitty Morbius video game, this is how you would, geolocate things and shit. But it's nothing. It's a small consolation prize. She's dying in his arms, and she kisses him. It's like, are we supposed to care? Yeah. She bites his lip, and blood comes out, and she drinks his blood.
I would have punched her.
It's sexy. Not even sexy.
What the fuck you fight me for?
And I was waiting for her to say, just in case. Something clever, right? She didn't say shit.
No.
She just fucking dies. Because previously he was looking at all these books like, maybe I need to stab him with garlic and all this. And she's like, you don't actually believe in this shit. And he's like, no, of course not, But the film then alludes to it later on, where she finds out if you drink his blood, then you also become a vampire. But he's not a vampire. So is he a vampire or is he not a vampire? I don't know. Anyways, the blood later on turns out that she opens her eyes. Nobody gives a fucking shit. But
she's a vampire now.
I don't.
Maybe she got injected. Look, I think what happened is off screen, Matt Smith
Again,
injects her.
fill in your own blanks.
They have to, because I think she actually bit her own lip and not his lip. And then she's spitting her blood in his mouth to give him the rage, because that's why he bites her and he gets super juiced up.
Fuck, you're right.
Because there's 2.
That's right. Because
2.
I was just about to realize that, because he actually does and bite her neck.
Because otherwise he'd have no power.
And it's not because otherwise, if she's dying and he bites her fucking neck,
Because he said make it count or something.
Yes, that's right. That's right. That's what she does say. So then we have the final battle. And
it was sad.
The final battle was so poorly put together.
Trash.
I didn't really think you can get worse than the Venom versus Riot CGI fight. This was worse.
We got worse. We figured it out.
It was crazy. And because they're falling through buildings the whole time and the camera's following them, you see and understand nothing. The only way you understand is when occasionally the camera will slow down and you can kind of understand from upside down in time. But most of the time it's just shit in your face, just flowing past your face. Yeah. And that's the fight, and then he wins. And they fall into a city pit under the thing, and it's a good location. I'm like, okay, cool. This is a cool location to fight in. But Morbius just screams. A bunch of American bats show up that are friends with the Costa Rican bats, who are friends with Jared Leto. And Matt Smith's like, well, this Milo's like, this is stupid. I'm gonna throw a fucking, I don't know,
Rebar.
pole at you.
Not
as if
throw.
that's
He's
gonna
gonna
do
come and
anything.
stab you
Oh,
real
right,
slow.
Yeah, stab. So he jumps in the air so we can have another slow mo fucking scene.
He's like,
But these bats that are moving faster than the speed of sound are, as he's leaping through the air, bats are coming down hundreds of yards of subway tunnels, and then they blast him up and hold him to the
Yeah, he's
ground, and then he gets incapacitated by the bats and
And
gets
then
stabbed.
Morbius, yeah, he's doing the bat laser beams, just hitting him with bats, and the bats. I guess they don't really bite him; they just beat him up.
If they had a beam fight where like Matt Smith learns to use the bats too, and they start doing bat beams,
bat
like
beams.
beam bat, it's just like
That
this
would've
would have
been-
been. It's like, look, this movie can't get any
the
worse.
bats did nothing but hold down Matt Smith.
Yeah,
All you see is his suit, like little scratches.
He's just like,
like there's nothing. He's just like, the bats are holding me
these tiny
down.
little creatures are flapping their wings at me. I can't move. Oh my
guys,
god!
stop making fun of this. This is not that bad.
Yeah.
Morbius takes life with them.
So while the bats hold Matt Smith down, he runs and then stabs him with the antidote.
Which maybe he
And
made
kills
from the
him.
third vial. Somebody clarify it for me. Alex, do you have an explanation?
Oh, Matt Smith definitely stabbed her with the third vial.
Okay, that's what it was.
Because he knew, and then again, I'm making this is all bullshit. I'm making this entire thing up.
Okay,
Matt Smith
I'm trying
knows.
to figure out
Matt
what
Smith
happened to the
knows
third
for
vial.
sure that the only way to win
But
over
there's gonna
Morbius.
be a sequel.
Well, the only way to win over Morbius, and the only way for him to not like kill everything, is to take his love and pervert her to their side, and maybe he'll see the way. But no,
Clever.
that didn't happen at all.
sounds clever.
That doesn't happen at all, though.
It doesn't happen.
No,
Yeah.
we're making all this up.
It
Yeah.
would have been nice if they kind of alluded to that, but no, she does open her eyes. It has to be that way though, because how did she open her eyes? Morbius's blood?
I think it was her blood.
We need to go
No,
back.
it's not-
Watch the tape
she-
off screen.
No, I don't fucking know. I
No,
don't give a
seriously,
shit.
like it does not say. It
So,
does not.
It doesn't
convey
say anything about
no.
it. Well, okay, fine. And you would think it says it in the two. Oh, so anyways, he flies up in the city in full view with all the bats and stuff. And so now and he just flies up, I don't know, Neo style, and then it smashes to Morbius. I was like, this is so stupid. And the city already knows Dr. Morbius is a vampire and killing people because
murderer.
it's on the TV. And murdering. And there's two
Daily
vampire
Bugle.
murderers. They call it the vampire murderer. And I'm like, well, doesn't that mean that the murderer is killing vampires? Why wouldn't you just call it the vampire? Anyway, okay, whatever. Anyways, and
Be careful. There's a man who sucks you off at night. He's roaming the streets.
Where?
New York.
That sounds terrible. Where? So I can avoid him.
where is it? We must take down this menace. At what location
Yeah, right.
is this? Do you have to bring money?
Yeah.
Okay, Joe. The first
It's
of the
terrible.
two stingers. What happens in
The
the
first
of the
stinger
two
is
stingers?
like you see the purple sky.
No, that's the second.
That's the
stinger,
first one.
Joe. That's the second stinger.
that's the first one.
Stinger? No, what's the first stinger? Don't even remember the first stinger. Okay, then continue with your first stinger.
Okay, the first
explanation.
stinger is like it's from No Way Home. You see the sky; it was purple, and it starts fixing itself. And
Yeah.
you pan into the prison. You see the Vulture.
Uh-huh.
Batman.
Yeah, Michael Keaton's in jail. He's like, "What? I'm not supposed to be here." And that's the stinger. That's the first one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Batman
So,
shows
so,
up.
yo, you're right. So,
Yeah.
because
It was
So the
shitty.
rift. It was so shitty. I was thinking. Anyways, the rift. It looks awful. It's like the Sony guys are like, "Hey, Marvel, can we borrow the rift effects?" And they're like, "Nah, man, do your own." fucking
Nah,
rift."
they just put like a purple highlighter.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, well, you guys are jerks. He shows up and, it's reported on the news. This man just showed up in the fucking prison
And
cell.
he's going to be
He's
released
gonna be
because he's not
released.
supposed to be there.
Okay, so then what was the real second stinger?
Jared Leto is driving. I don't know where the fuck he's driving out in the middle of nowhere. And then he meets up with. He sees something from distance. He parks. Sees something from distance coming. You don't know what it is. You see like dust being kicked up, and then Vulture comes up with this whole suit. I don't know where he got his suit from. Where did he get his suit?
He made it, Joe, because he's
Where-
a
from where,
smart
though?
guy. From parts
But
in
there's
the
no
world.
Stark stuff there,
It's
right?
yeah, you're right, Joe.
But he
Don't-
learned
don't
Stark
lose it.
stuff.
Don't. He learned it by himself.
Off screen, what happened was he goes
Off
to
screen
yeah.
is so powerful.
No,
in
in this
movie.
universe, I guess that means that in this universe there is a Stark. I don't fucking know. They're not even. They don't know what they're doing at Sony.
Exactly. Well, anyways, he comes in with his fucking suit. He's like, "Oh, hey, I got a proposition for you." He's like, "Oh, what's up? I'm listening. Spider-Man, huh?"
He does. And meanwhile, they completely edited it out. The part where there's a Spider-Man poster, and from the trailer, that's not in there.
We don't got rights to that shit.
It's like Spider-Man.
And
Let's
Michael
team up.
Keaton's scene with the police, it's completely re-edited here. But he does essentially say, "Hey, Spider-Man, huh?"
Spider-Man, let's team up.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
And no, the motherfucker says
like,
interesting or something like fascinating is what he said. I'm like, you fucking. He wouldn't find that
I
fascinating.
was just like, please don't. Don't team up.
Y'all don't do this.
Don't do this. It's a
Is
waste.
that supposed to be Sinister
I
Six
wanted to be
or
like,
some
guys,
kind of villain
please don't do this. It's a waste of my time. It's a waste of your time. I don't want to see your movie. You don't want to be in it.
And it makes no sense because the character art from the Vulture, like, is he really that obsessed with, attacking Spider-Man? Now, I thought he's over that shit. I don't fucking know. Who cares? And wasn't there mind
That's
wipe?
the moral
and
of today's
I don't know.
story. Who cares?
Who cares? Yeah. So unfortunately, a huge dud. And if a bunch of superhero films come out like this, no wonder Martin Scorsese and all these fucking people are talking shit. It's like this is the kind of stuff that they're talking about, and this is the kind of stuff that is going to kill this.
Sony's single-handedly doing it.
I'm glad Sony's killing their own Spider-Verse because this shit sucks.
Yeah, hand it off to somebody.
It's embarrassing.
Craven's coming out sometime soon, right? In the next year or so. They're probably already like
That's
too.
embarrassing.
It's too late for them to cancel that one, but they've got like 3 other movies planned
Is it?
already.
Yeah.
It's,
So they're going forward regardless of whether they're gonna just point to the audience reception and be like, "This is why we're doing it." We'll see how much money it makes. We'll see if they actually move forward with a team of bad guys, a Sinister's team, maybe.
Well, they made $36 off of us.
I'm so happy that Venom got in. I don't know what's gonna happen with Venom. Is Marvel going to use Venom? Is it going to be a Tom Hardy, man? I fucking know. It's Sony so embarrassing that now Marvel's like, nah, man, we don't even want Tom Hardy, even though he's a good version of Venom and they could make him better. But they're like, nah, fuck that.
Dude,
We're
I'd
gonna
rather
make
take
our own
Topher
Venom.
Grace than get the rest of that shit that comes
Right.
with Tom Hardy.
That's probably why we had that symbiote come over in the Marvel universe, detached from Tom Hardy, detached from Sony. And honestly, after seeing this, it's the right move. Marvel is fucking smart. They're like, yeah, no, man, you do your own thing. Make your own riff.
You're hiring who to write a movie?
Sure, you can reference our riff. Sure.
That's cute here. Play with the Mega Blacks.
Yeah. Please
We
don't
got
swallow
the
them.
Legos. You can play with the Mega Blocks.
Exactly.
But they fucking trick Sony and let me get your action figure. Let me get your Spider-Man action figure. Here, play with the Mega Blocks.
They made them half $500 million. It's
No,
just
they
like,
did. They are making money.
Yeah.
They're making money together. So anyways, Sony is never letting go of the Spider-Man license.
Why would
And
they?
they're going to milk the fuck out of every goddamn side character
Don't
you've
watch
ever
it.
heard of.
Don't
What is
watch
the
it.
most obscure side character in Spider-Man lore? Put it in the comments. Let us know because Sony is going to make a trilogy on that character.
Son of Rhino. There's going to be something like
I
even
don't know.
more ridiculous.
All right, guys, that's going to be it for us. We'll see you on the next Angry Joe Show.
Bye, guys.